This weekend marks the start of a hallmark American sport, college football. Ah yes, college football, the most broken, uncompetitive sport to ever exist. Between the conference realignment, the fact that only 14 distinct teams have made the college football playoff in its 9-year history, and the blatant scandals and corruption of the NCAA, only perhaps the world of esports is more broken. College football is plagued by a great many issues, but the chief one in my opinion is that there is no objective criteria to make the playoff. The committee simply ranks the top 25 teams, and the top 4 of which go into the playoff. This is a broken system in many respects. First of all, the committee has an incentive to pick the best TV matchups, quote unquote, as opposed to which teams, quote unquote, earned a playoff spot. The committee also inflates whichever boosted team they want to include in the playoff by ranking their opponents in various spots in the 5th through 25th rankings to artificially inflate a team's strength of schedule. The most egregious example of the committee being absolute trash was in the 2016-2017 season. On October 22nd, 2016, Penn State had defeated rival then number 2 Ohio State at home and went on to win the Big Ten East. With just over 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter of that game, Ohio State attempted a field goal to extend their then 21-17 lead. It was blocked and returned 71 yards for a Penn State touchdown. That play later became known as the Kick 6. Penn State's defense then held on to the 24-21 lead to win the game. Penn State later defeated then number 6 Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship by a score of 38-31 in Indianapolis. However, the scum in the College Football Committee decided to rank Ohio State number 4 and Penn State number 5, so Ohio State, the team that lost, got into the college football playoff. Ohio State dick riders like Colin Cowherd claimed that Ohio State was the better team on paper. Penn State won on a quote-unquote fluke, Kick 6, at home, and these Buckeye jock sniffers claimed that the game would have had a different result if it were played at Ohio State's home stadium. The committee, also being filled with Ohio State meat riders, agreed. The Ohio State Fuckeyes then went on to lose 31-0 to Clemson in the first playoff match. Why even play the game if you're just going to look at the better team on paper or use the quote-unquote eye test to rank teams? I'll tell you why. Ohio State is simply a better TV draw than Penn State, so competitive integrity, objective criteria, and equitable rankings be damned. Beginning in the 2024 season, the playoff will expand to 12 teams. The playoff will have 6 guaranteed bids for the 6th highest ranked conference champions, the top 4 of which will have a first round bye. Then the remaining 6 spots will be filled by the remaining 6 highest ranked teams. While this is an improvement, it doesn't solve the fundamental problem. The ranking is still done subjectively by a committee with an agenda and biases. The conference championships are objective enough, but with the new conference realignment, mainly the expansion of the SEC and Big Ten, fans will complain that weaker conferences get auto bids, while stronger teams get left out because they joined a stronger conference. Additionally, the committee could tweak the rankings just enough to ensure that certain teams have an easier path to the championship. By matching up a high TV draw against a weak opponent in the first round, they increase the chances of that TV draw progressing in the playoffs. But far be it from me to point out problems without suggesting a solution, and you guessed it, the ELO system. I have a video explaining the ELO system, which I have linked in the description. The website you've been staring at, which is also linked, is an ELO ranking of all the schools. This ranking system was done after the playoffs and bowl games last year, so you'll see a discrepancy compared to the pre-playoff rankings that the committee used to seed the playoffs and bowl games. Would it be a better system if the remaining 6 non-auto playoff bids were determined by ELO instead of the committee? I think so, but it presents some new problems that would still result in a broken, uncompetitive system. First off, teams like Alabama have enough leverage to pick their non-conference schedule, and these behemoths will certainly use that to their advantage under an ELO system. Look at Troy and Tulane's rankings. They have an inflated ELO since they play in a weaker conference, Conference USA, while a team like Kentucky, ranked all the way down here at 1557, has a stronger SEC schedule. Obviously, the ELO ranking adjustments for wins and losses takes opponent ranking into account, but schools with weaker schedules can still rise easily. They win the vast majority of their games. The result? Alabama will schedule non-conference games against teams like Troy and Tulane with inflated ELOs as much as possible, while avoiding stronger teams with mid-tier ELOs that play in stronger conferences. Any system can be exploited. We want to minimize that as much as possible to preserve competitive integrity and an equitable playing field amongst all the teams. However, the ELO system allows for schedule exploitation just like the current system. So the real solution I'm offering is to use ELO as part of an objective formula to determine ranks with computers as opposed to a committee, and select that criteria beforehand for maximum transparency. They often release this computer ranking with the committee ranking just to kind of see like how the computer fares compared to the committee. But I think it should be full computer, and you can tweak whatever inputs and whatever weights in the weighted average ranking you want to include and just make that objective. So there's no human element in the ranking going forward.